Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator, where today we're going to be playing the 2019 replica of the Husqvarna test track in Murrieta, California, made by Brad Clay. It's actually the BCMX 2019 Husqvarna test track. Brad Clay, really good track maker. I think I've done at least a few of his tracks already for track walks before, but some of you may even remember Brad rode for the SYS racing team back in 2018. So we know Brad pretty well, I would feel, and even though he doesn't ride for our team anymore, he was still a lot of fun to be around and does absolutely amazingly good quality work when it comes to creating these tracks. So I wanted to get down and play this track. He released it last week. And, I mean, for me personally, it's kind of cool just because this track is really close to where I live. I think I could probably drive there in like 10 minutes and be there. I mean, if you don't really already know this already, KTM and Husqvarna are like based in the same factory or same warehouses near each other in Murrieta. And they bought this little parcel of land just south of an airfield, but it's like literally a block away from their headquarters in Murrieta, where they built this test track, the KTM test track, and an enduro track, all in this little parcel of land, so they can go test on these tracks and throw new suspension components or whatever right onto the side of the bike if they need to, because the factory is literally just down the street. They do still own the KTM test track, and I believe that was also a Husqvarna test track at Corona, which is in Temescal Canyon. You guys probably have heard of like the famous Corona test tracks. KTM still has their track there. I believe Husky does as well. But they have this kind of new parcel and new test tracks to ride. So Brad replicated the Murrieta version, not the Corona version of the Husqvarna test track. And really good stuff here. I like what he's done. Everything is kind of spread out a little bit. I would say it's not like, you know, anywhere close to like 1-to-1, probably like 1.25 to 1 would be my guess on scaling. But has a good flow and really gives you that kind of like supercross vibe where like you don't need to be in high gears or do anything wild like that. Like you can stay first or second pretty much the whole track and get everything done. So I like that aspect of it because it does feel tight, technical. He got the rhythms down really well, because these rhythms that I'm doing right here, this double, quad, triple, and then turn around here and you go triple in, try not to over jump, and then triple here, and then quad into the corner. Those are all lines that if you've watched any of like Jason Anderson or Dean Wilson's videos on this track of late, those are lines they were doing. So I like that as well, like added the kind of realistic effect to it with that by making those lines essentially possible. He could have nerfed it, he could have made it so you only do one thing or the other, but he really just built a pretty standard version of it, and now we have this replica track. So I think that's really cool. Aesthetically, it looks really good. I like that he added some ruts in some of these corners to kind of add to the draw of it a little bit, so it's a little bit just that little extra technical side of it. I chose not to ride the track with a road on today, just because my supercross abilities are pretty far down right now in this game because I haven't been playing it near as much as I'd like. So just trying to keep the track like relatively normal and not crash my brains out every single lap, even though 2 laps I've already done I've crashed on, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, it looks really good. Looks pretty true to what the track looks like in real life. I'd say maybe the dirt needs to be a little darker, and then the outer areas need to be a little bit lighter, because when they utilize these test tracks, they grade them out the night before, water the crap out of them overnight, and then they're like really kind of moist looking when they actually end up riding them, even though by the end of the day obviously it's as dry as anything around it and looks pretty dry of a track. Maybe just a little bit of that kind of change in tone with the on-track decals versus off would have kind of benefited the overall presentation of this track. And then like things like this shed and this like overhang thing that's right in front of me, those are also not there. I think he maybe just added that to kind of give the appeal of a little bit more depth to the track than pretty basic test track level stuff. But I mean, it is a test track, so either way, I get why he would have done that, so it adds a little bit more of an effect instead of just the bland test tracks that all these tracks usually are. They're usually just like a little kind of gated section. As you can see, there's a fence all the way around this, and they truck in some dirt, they lay down some tracks, and have their guys come in and ride it, and then they lock it up at the end of the day. Pretty simple as that. So I've always enjoyed trying to replicate the test tracks because they're pretty easy to build. Like, you don't really have to do much environment-wise, and then you can just lay down a supercross track, throw some decals on it, and it usually looks pretty close to what they're riding in real life. So like that, I like the track itself. The track has some cool flow to it, some cool sections. In general, it seems like this year, a lot of the teams, when it comes to building their test tracks, I noticed this with Yamaha too, are taking a weird approach to having like not your straightforward like 6 lanes back and forth type of supercross track. This one in particular, yes, it has like kind of the 6 lanes, but at the end of one, you know, in the back section over there that I just came out of, it's pretty tight and twisty and technical, and then there's like this little hip jump right there. I don't know, like, it's not something that we're used to seeing on test tracks because they do oftentimes tend to build them pretty bland because you don't want them to be overly technical or weird and set up guys for a situation where they may get hurt in the off season. Nobody wants that, obviously. So they usually make the test tracks so that they're hard, obviously, because it's supercross, but they don't over technicalize it where it's too hard that guys are sending stuff every lap that is really stuff they shouldn't be doing, I guess. So yeah, and I mean, they just in general try to keep it pretty bland, but this track I think does a pretty good job of mixing some variety. It has some pretty simple sections like these couple ones back and forth right here, just a small little double and then a little tire tap right here, which you can triple this. I might triple it on the next lap if I remember. I'm just not going fast enough to really show off that ability. I like this where it's like dragons down off of a on-off. Dean Wilson had a really cool video of him on this test track before he got hurt, where he wheel tapped the landing and then like kind of just bounced down the last 2 whoops. It looked super clean, super fast, classic Dino style. Love how that dude rides. It's always just so crisp and smooth. Bummer he's hurt right now. Hopefully he gets better soon. And then Ando has a couple videos of him riding the 2-stroke before straight rhythm on this track, and then now he rode 450 on this track a little bit. I don't remember why. I don't think he's actually racing Paris this weekend, so I don't think that would be the reason for it. But either way, you can probably go to their Instagram profiles and see videos of this track in use, which is always cool. Like, I just always like making those little connections as well, where you see something that someone's doing in real life and you're like, oh man, that'd be really fun to play that track. And you come in sim and here it is. Like, that was always such an appealing aspect to computer gaming to me as opposed to console gaming, is because you just don't get that level of customization on console games as you do on PC like this. So that's really, really cool. I mean, 181, 182 track walks now of just basically custom tracks that no other like console game probably would be able to provide you with. So love, 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 love this custom stuff that you know, you draw from real life, pull it in game, and then bam, you have this cool custom track that you and your buddies can play online. Always a good time. And yeah, I think the last thing I could probably talk about to you in this video is just my lack of supercross abilities on this track. They are atrocious. Sorry that I've crashed so many times. I am a sketchy idiot right now when it comes to playing this game. I think my brain has been officially washed by so many of the arcade games that I've been playing more often, and obviously MX Bikes now. I only play with 1 stick on MX Simulator, always have, but on MX Bikes you really do need 2 sticks, I think, just to play it, you know, the proper way with the rider lean and stuff like that. So I'm not that good at jumping back and forth from 1 stick to 2 stick and all that, so I think in general all my gameplay abilities are going to be going down if I get into MX Bikes a little bit more and play sim a little bit less, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be alright. But yeah, gonna keep trying at it, gonna keep getting better, gonna keep crashing and getting up and trying one more time. Trial and error, folks. That is the name of the game in MX Simulator. I mean, you could probably put a compilation together of all the crashes I've had in every single video I've done in this game, which I've probably done like 400 videos at this point. Just take all my crashes and all those videos, which would be a lot of work if somebody ever did that. I don't recommend it. But you could put all that stuff together and probably make over a day's worth of content. I mean, I've spent a lot of time on the ground in this game. And I'm sure that any of you guys who have played this enough would have a similar sentiment. Let's try to post this triple right here. It's hard because like you have to land and just be on the brakes right away. So that's why I've been doing the little tire tap method. It just feels a little bit smoother to me, just to get to the inside and still get the finish line jump clean. But yeah, crashing in this game, it just happens on repeat, I swear. And it's just, like I said with trial and error, you hit a section, you're like, oh, that worked, let me try it again next lap, and you think you do the same thing, and you end up like one smidge off case of jump, and then you're going down again. It's just, the bummer thing about sim, I feel like, is that too often you just crash, and you're like, oh, man, here I am sitting here for so long, waiting to get up, and now I'm finally going again. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. Probably a whole minute of this video at this point now has been me off the bike crashing, which is ridiculous because it's only a 12-minute video. Insane. So yeah, if you guys want to try out this track, please head to the description below, download it, try it out for yourself, put it in game, throw it down on a server with one of your buddies, and I don't know, tell me if you like it or not. As always with these track walks, I love to hear you guys' feedback on these tracks, because I think in general, content creators of these tracks watch my videos and then they, you know, maybe go to the comments and see if people liked it, didn't like it, what they would say about the track, what they don't like or do like about the track, what they would change, etc. So feel free to comment, guys. I swear I read it, even though sometimes I don't always get back to your comments. I'm always reading the comments. People that make these tracks probably read the comments. So yeah, comment, tell me what you think. Love to hear your feedback as always, and appreciate every single one of you beautiful people for watching another video here on Start Your Systems. Kellen here saying that I will see you guys in the next one. So long for now.